And it says we're live. So I guess that means good morning. Welcome to Wednesday Live. Welcome to Homebuilt Workshop. Hope you're all off to a great start for the day, or a great afternoon or evening or whatever it is. Either way, welcome. We're here to hang out for a while. I hope you're all doing awesome. Thanks for tuning in as I get things sort of situated here. There, that's a little better, I think. What's going on? Sam's here. Sam says hello. Mike is here. Mike says hello and good morning. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Mike. Welcome. What are you up to this fine morning or afternoon for Sam? What's happening? Right on, right on. Well, if you remember last week, I had issues with the old iPad, and it's still going on. Although I had a glimmer of hope because yesterday, when I opened it up just to try it out in pre-preparation for today, and the YouTube app worked. It didn't say update or anything because I turned off automatic updates, and I was able to use the app. Well, this morning, yeah, I started to get everything set up for this, and it said update again. So we're back to using the phone for right now, so hopefully everything is okay. And Donna's here. Ooh, something happens when I touch the screen. This is a little different. Donna's here. Donna says, good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Donna. How are you this fine Wednesday morning? And Tony's here. Tony says, morning, sunshine. Says the stickers came yesterday. Thanks. Right on, Tony. Thank you. Glad they arrived. Right on. Good old sticker swap. Let's keep the sticker swap going. Remember that from like a few years ago? That was like all the rage. Everybody was wanting to do a sticker swap. Sticker swap is not gone. You want to send over some stickers for your shop, your business, your whatever? I'll send you some of mine as well. You can always find the address in the video description on all the videos. You'll find the P.O. box down below. And yeah, if you want, send over some stickers. Always welcome and appreciated. I love sticking stickers on everything. In fact, Tony, right there. Right on, right on. And Paul's here. Paul says, hello, all. I have no stickers to send you. That's okay, Paul. No worries. What are you up to this fine morning, Paul? Looks like you got a few guitar bodies you're working on, as usual. That's awesome. One of them, if I remember correctly, one was ash, right? You're working on an ash body? Ash is cool. I have two guitars made out of ash. And Harry Dude's here. Harry Dude, what's up, people? What's up, Harry Dude? Right on. Every time I scroll on the comments, there's like a little thing that comes up, and I don't know if it's changing focus. It might be. So if it's going in and out of focus, that's probably my fault. Cheers, everyone. A nice coffee morning to all of you. Paul says, yep, a big piece of wormy ash. Wormy ash. Hopefully there's no worms still in it. Nice. I don't have wormy ash, but I do have a couple that I made out of ash. They're pretty cool. Actually, I think I have more than that. I think I have 3, and I built 4 out of solid ash. One of them I sold. I think I have 2, 3. Yeah, I think I have 3 ash. Mine's not that swamp ash or anything like that where it's lighter. The ash guitars I have they got some weight to them. I didn't do any sort of chambering or anything like that, so they let you know when you're wearing them, but that's awesome. I'll be looking forward to seeing how they look. Paul says, just got a big load of pine in, so I have to cut that up for blanks. Cool. Nice pine. I've done some pine as well. I think pine's great. Some of the earlier, it's my understanding anyway, that some of the early tellies were made out of pine or some species very similar, if not pine itself. So there's nothing wrong with pine. I know you do a lot of those. Cool. Harry dude, what's on your bench? How's everybody in Australia? Hopefully everything's well. Are you in the midst of summer? Staying nice and warm, I would imagine. Sam says, as soon as I sorted the garage out, I'll get into pricing up that shipping on the jewelry box and chocolates. Right on, Sam. Paul says, pine's my biggest selling bodies. Yeah, you make a bundle of them. Donna asks, any more cigar box guitars? Eventually, yes. I have a box that I got recently that I think would be cool. It's a little bit thinner than some of the other ones I've done, so I've got to ponder that a little bit and figure out, well, really just do some measurements and see if it's going to be thick enough to do a regular neck in there. But yeah, I do plan on turning that into a cigar box guitar. I'm not sure when I'll get started on that though, but it is in the works. I think it'd be cool. The box is cool. I could grab the box. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. For a second, I'm going to step out of frame, grab this cigar box, and I'll show you. So, remember that show? Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I'm just going to step over here. I'm coming back. I didn't leave. I know. Right here. I think it's a cool looking box. I like the label that's on there. The top is painted red, my favorite color. Kind of makes me want to keep it, but I don't need another cigar box guitar. But I think it would be really cool. The way the label's stuck on there, I can't if I flip it over, it's gonna be upside down anyway, so I can't build it a lefty. But it's only, what is that, 1.25 inches? Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's gonna be plenty for a neck. Just over 1.25 inches. So it'll be like a thin line cigar box guitar. I think this is probably going to be a little bit similar to one of the other ones that I did, in that I'm probably going to have to pull the lid off. I'll have to remove these hinges here to be able to get it to close once the neck is installed. But yeah, this will be the next one. I just don't know when exactly I'm going to get started on it. Maybe sooner, maybe later. I don't know. But I think it'll be a cool one. I just like the look of it. Maybe some gold hardware to kind of match that label. I think it'd be pretty neat. Where am I going to set this where it's safe? I got finish on the table that I kind of made a mess yesterday when I was working on the project I'm working on for this week. I'll show you that here in a few. So Donna, that's the plan for the cigar box guitar. Well, the slight plan. Sam says autocorrect getting worse. Yeah, you know. Harry Dude says, loving the summer. Right now I'm working on some old stage lights, big, heavy moving mirror units. Ooh, like the old like really hot bulbs. Donna says, cool, right on. It's gonna be neat. Ace Man McCool says hello from Manchester, England. Right on, Ace Man. Good morning. Well, probably good afternoon to you. How's everything in England? You guys do you get much for like winter? Right on. So what I found myself the other day, kind of as I wrapped up the last project from last week, the guitar fret file holder. Did you see that? I should have brought that out here so I could show you. But I know we talked about it last week, but I got that whole thing done, and it turned out really cool. I like that a lot, and definitely made a big difference in how I organize those little files. Because if you use that style file, I mean, there's a bundle of different sizes, and it can be kind of tricky to keep everything nice and neat. So I think that worked out really well. Like I mentioned in the video, overkill? Oh, probably, but it looks cool, so I like it. But as I wrapped that up, I was out here cleaning up in the shop, and I'm just kind of looking around. I'm like, what are we going to make next? And we had, if I can show you. This thing was sitting here. An old picture frame, one of those store-bought deals that had broken right along here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get this out of the shop, which meant I had to start making a new picture frame. Not all that hard, but I had that piece of black walnut left over, and voila. I think it's dry. Put the finish on it last night. Just about to finish this thing up. I just need to put the glass in there, put the tab points or flex points in this, and this thing will be done. So this will be a quick video for this weekend. I'm doing it a little bit different style, so I'll be interested to see how the video goes over, because I've done several picture frame videos, so I thought I'd try something just a little bit different. But yeah, just a simple walnut picture frame to replace an old busted cheap store-bought deal. So I'm really happy with this. I'm liking it so far. I'm just gonna, like I said, wrap that up for today, get the video edited, and that'll be this weekend's project. Excuse me. Harry Dude says, yep, 500 watt lamps in these things. Toasty. Oh yeah. The old, before everybody went to LEDs, it was right around, some of the venues were just starting to switch to LEDs when we were playing a lot. But most of the venues still had the old school, floodlight cans, where it's just like being under a heat lamp. Oh, those are the worst. And I remember a few places that we had played at where they had already switched to LEDs, and it was so much nicer because you're not getting cooked under those lights. Ace Man McCool says Manchester is cold, dark, and wet. I've never been to England, but I imagine from what I hear that's kind of normal. Is that? I mean, I don't know. That's just an assumption from what we hear as being in the outside world. And KK's here. KK says, good evening from Greece. And good morning in America, Brother Jeff and my good friends. Sending my best regards. Wish you and your families the best. Take care, everyone. Right on, KK. Thank you. And I wish you all the same in Greece. I hope everyone in Greece is doing awesome. Hope everything is well. Right on. My best to you is you and your family as well. Sam says, perhaps try carefully dismantling a keyboard and remaking its body and buttons out of white oak or another type of wood. That would be kind of crazy. I've seen some homemade keyboards, and that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Robert's here. Robert says, hey, everyone. Hey, literally, hey. Sam says, magnified LEDs are still hot. Yes, but not quite the same as like what Harry Dude says here. Yep, the old PAR 64 cans were 1,000 watts each. I remember them well. Those were the days. Or when just stepping on stage, you get a suntan. Yeah. Oh man, they were so hot. And a couple places, well, actually quite a few places we played weren't like big stage venues, like the dive bar kind of places where the ceiling is like just a little bit above your head, so they got the light like right there, and it's just uh, let's see here. Let's see. Miss Ian A. Sorry, I'm probably messing that all up. Says hi from Croatia. Right on. Welcome. How's everybody in Croatia? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing good. That's awesome. Right on. Cool. Yeah, everything here's going pretty good, really. We've got a string of warm weather this whole week. We've been in the 60s, and it's supposed to continue on through Friday, and then Friday night it's supposed to be cold and snowy. So I don't know, trying to take advantage of it and knock some projects out because I don't know what the weather's going to do here. Just like I said, wrapping up this little picture frame project, and then let's see. After that, I'm not sure. I got a couple guitar projects. I just got to figure out what's going to fall into place because that's kind of how I roll. Even though I try to plan, sorry, I'm slipping off the seat. So yeah, gonna get this done. Figure out what's next on the bench. Working on a couple projects, doing a little bit of fusion designing, trying to get some things worked out. And yeah, I got a few things coming up. It's gonna be cool. Depending on the weather, we'll see what the weather does here. But let's see. Sam says 200-watt focus spot 4Z are very warm, even from a distance. Not sure what a 4Z is. But yeah, I mean, really any light like that. I mean, LEDs, yes, are much cooler, but yeah, you still get something from them for sure. Donna says round 2 in the Stanley Vintage Thermal. Right on. The vintage Stanley. This one, I've had this thing for I don't know how long, really. It's not super old. I mean, it's within the last, I've probably had it 10, 15 years, probably. But yeah. This is round, let's see. I've already had 2 cups. But this would be round 3, I guess. Not from this, but regular coffee cups, 2 of those, and then this guy. So cheers. A Stanley cheers. Cool. I know I got to do some cleaning up. A little bit of shop cleanup. This is probably a good time to do it too while the weather's decent. Just to get things straightened up. A lot of times as I'm cleaning up, I stumble across more projects. Does that ever happen to you? Like if you're cleaning up your workshop or you're cleaning your garage or maybe even a room in your home, as you're cleaning up, you realize, oh, I really need a thing for this particular application. So that's probably what'll happen is I'll get things cleaned up around here. There's a mess on the floor just from working on this frame, from cutting this little rabbit in here. Yeah, just a mess. Got to get things cleaned up as I'm sorting out more projects. Sam says it's a moving head club light. Oh, okay, like a headlamp, sort of. Oh no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know. I got you. I'm with you. Not that. I know. I'm with you. Me Got Wood says, good morning, Jeff. What's going on? How's Me Got Wood? Hope you're having an awesome morning so far. Tony says, project for the day, clean out my dust collector hose. It stopped up from under the table saw to the blast gate about 4 feet. Fun, fun. Oh, you know, I got to do that too, Tony. Um, my my little dust collector that I use for my drum sander and the CNC machine is it's getting fuller. It's nowhere near capacity. It has one of those bags, and once it starts to get any amount of accumulation in the bottom, it seems like it loses a lot of its suction. So I try to keep that thing cleaned out. I probably need to do that. I probably need to empty the shop vacs. Probably need to empty the dust collector. Yeah, that's a good call. So, yeah, thanks for that reminder. I got to figure out something too. Uh, I've got two blast gates on my dust collector. One goes to the 4-inch hose that goes to the drum sander, and then I've got another one that reduces down to, I think it's the 2.5 inch that fits on the CNC. And they're just those cheap plastic blast gates, and the little rails, or the little track, the little channel that the blast gate slides in, it always gets full of fine sawdust. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because the dust collector is not powerful enough to suck everything in, but it always gets full, those little tracks, and then the gates don't close. So then I get horrible performance. So I got to figure out something different, like a different style of blast gate. I wish there was one that was smooth, that had like a butterfly valve. I don't know if that would work or not. What do you guys have any suggestions as far as like blast gate type stuff? Um, I'm not happy with these. These are some I picked up from, I think Woodcraft, or I don't think it was Rockler. I think it was Woodcraft. They were really inexpensive, but now I know why, because they kind of suck. Not literally. Yeah, so I gotta look at other options for that. If you guys have any recommendations for a blast gate that has worked good, um, I gotta look at something different. Mike says the cleanup is the weekly project that prevents real projects. Yes, it does. And I've tried really not cleaning up as much, and that's even worse, especially in a small space like I'm in. Like any amount of mess really becomes a giant mess in a matter of seconds, it seems. So I really do try to keep things cleaned up as best I can. Um, yeah, yeah. It's just an unfortunate necessity. Is that a term? Did I just invent that? An unfortunate necessity. Mike says, "Oh, come on, it's because you're cutting wood." I mean, you're not wrong. Not at all. Paul says, "I use aluminum blast gates from Rockler. Cost a bit more, but worth it." I'll have to check that out. Paul says, "Oh, says you can make wooden ones, then use them. Could make it into a video." Hmm. Maybe so. Heritage says 3D print your own butterfly style. Yeah, you know what? It's not a bad idea. I don't think it'd be all that hard to do, really. Some sort of a tube deal with a hole in the side where you can put a bolt, and then some sort of a flap deal. Those are all technical terms. A tube deal and the flap deal. I might have to try that. I only have PLA. Do you think PLA would be strong enough for something like that? I think it probably would. Hmm. That's not a bad idea. I might sit down and play with that. Whoa. Almost knocked stuff over and fell off my seat. Yeah, let's see. Now let's think about that for a second. What else would there need to be? I mean, I don't think you'd need anything else, right? 4-inch tube, with some sort of a flapper in there. I mean, basically, like a throttle body on a car is really kind of all I see it. I don't know if having the thing in the middle if that would become a place to catch, maybe larger shavings or something, but I think you're onto something, Harry dude. That just might be, I gotta ponder that a little. You could make it completely parametric, so I could build one file and say, I need a 4-inch fitting. So you punch it into 4-inch, and you need a 2.5-inch. You just set it to 2.5, and it automatically would scale. Huh. I'm gonna play with that. I like that idea. You can probably see the smoke pouring out, and sorry about that. As I'm thinking, but I'm gonna try. I got to do that after when we're done. But I can't lose that. I won't lose that idea. Hey, dude. Two big thumbs up, because I'm gonna at least investigate it and see how hard it would be to model it. Robert says, yesterday my sister and I went to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and ate breakfast at a place called Just Wafflin'. We each tried their blazing hot chicken and waffle. It was good, but I don't like vinegar hot sauce. Interesting. That sounds good to me. I like vinegar hot sauce. I like chicken, and I like waffles. I would totally eat it. I've had chicken and waffles once. Well, twice, I guess. I made it here one time, but it wasn't as good as the one that I had at whatever restaurant we had it at. It was pretty good, but that sounds good with the hot sauce. I've not had it with hot sauce. I'm sorry, Robert, that the hot sauce was not something you enjoyed, but overall, I think the meal sounds pretty good. Mike says yes on PLA. Paul says PLA maybe if you make sliding blast gates, wouldn't think that the axle would be too thick for butterfly ones. I think for the axle, I would use like a bolt. I would make it so that a bolt goes in there somehow. That way, if you 3D print the 4-inch tube, 3D print the blast gate, and then build it in so that a bolt can go through and be the axle. And then there's I don't know, I have to figure out a handle thing, but I think it could work. I think it could. It just would not print the axle, because I don't think that would be strong enough, especially if you got a crank on it for some reason. I like that idea. I'm going to play with it and see. Who knows? Maybe we'll get something that works. You could just use a quarter 20 bolt, a long quarter 20 bolt, which I have some already. I don't know if they're long enough, but somehow that goes through, and then a handle. I don't know. Well, I got to play with that. Yeah, I like it. I like that idea. Sam says, I haven't seen a carpenter making a tree yet. That'd be like reverse engineering right there. Paul says, I think if you can't close it completely, it may cut down your CFM. I agree. I 100% agree with you. And that's something that I noticed on these cheap plastic ones that I have. The one for the 4-inch, when you close it, there's a little cutout in there. And I don't understand why would they put a cutout in there to where so it's almost like a controlled vacuum leak. And I don't understand the idea behind that. I've not researched it or anything yet, but I cleaned these out probably a month ago because they literally wouldn't slide. And so I took the whole thing apart, cleaned it out, and I realized that it had that. And I don't understand why that would be there. Because to me, I want all the vacuum going to whatever one's open. I don't want this one over here leaking, and that's exactly what this one does. So I think if you could close it off completely, as you said, Paul, that you'd get better performance. But there might be a reason for that. I don't know. But to me, it doesn't make any sense. Robert says, okay, what'd you put in your coffee today being so unstable on your stool? Nothing, Robert. I put cream and sugar, and that's it. No, I was propping my feet up on something that wasn't intended to prop your feet up, and it tried to tip over and almost made me lose the balance. Sam says, falling off a stool? Is this a comedy channel? It might be. You never know. I don't really, it's not really a comedy show, but sometimes it is. Like, if you saw the video, the last video when I'm trying to open that dang lid of Finish, that jar of Finish, that was ridiculous. There's no way that thing should have been on there like it was, but you know, you slosh it around, it gets on the threads, you screw the lid back on, and Heritage says make the butterfly tapered so it's more aerodynamic. Yeah, kind of aerofoil style, you know, so when it's open, it's got the, this is like a crude example. But yeah, you know, kind of this number. So it closes and then it opens. I think that would make it stronger too. Then you'd have a little more material in the middle to put a to have an axle going through there. Yeah. And then when it closes, you know, there's a lip that it butts up against on the top and on the bottom, so that, you know, that it can help seal it better. It's already rolling around in there. Sam says, oh, he's having trouble with autocorrect. I'm sorry, Sam. Changes it to a different word. Yes, I have that same kind of problem. Don't feel that you're the only one, because you're not. The other day I was texting a friend of mine, and I texted something, I don't remember what it was, but it changed the word. It changed a word to that I was trying to type to something else, like it always does, and I sent it, and then I'm like, what in the world? So I went back in, typed the word that it changed it to. I was going to send that with a question mark, and it changed it to the original word. I'm like, I got nothing. I don't know. Robert says, I had their regular chicken and waffles, and it was good. Yeah, chicken and waffles is good. Paul says there's a place called Big Mama's Chicken and Waffles. Great place to go. Out of the way, drive-through only place. Ooh, that sounds like a great spot. I love those, you know, kind of drive-up only, off the beaten path. Those are usually like the best places to go. Sam says, Jeff's not the only one who has tablet issues. No. I thought this was going to work today. I mentioned it early. I've been playing with this all week, and it kept coming up, update, 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 won't let me use the app. But yesterday, I opened it up yesterday evening just to try it, to see what it would do. I ended up turning off automatic updates, thinking maybe that would stop it from checking. It doesn't. But anyway, it said something had happened. You know, the YouTube app encountered an error. So I closed it down, opened it back up, and everything seemed fine. The app worked, everything, and I was like, cool. This morning I tried it again. Update required. No dice. So still SOL on that thing. Robert says to Sam, and they say AI is going to take over, and it can't even get the word right. You hit the nail on the head there. Paul says the cutout is to try and prevent sawdust buildup and make it work better, but the plastic ones don't work great. No, they don't. Oh, he says that's what I was told when I worked for Rockler. Ah, well, I mean, I figured that it was there for a reason, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Robert says, come on, people. 18 watching, only 8 likes. We can do better than that. Robert, thank you. Yeah, if you're enjoying it, take a second. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You can join in on all of the lives. You can get notified when new videos come out. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Heritage says, you're thinking exactly what I was thinking with the lip and axle mount strength. Aha! Great minds think alike. Isn't that what they say? I'm going to play with that idea and see, you know, what sort of thing I can come up with. I've got some ideas. Sometimes, you know, I'll envision like this. You know, I can kind of see how I want it in my head. But then when it comes down to modeling that out, that's where it gets a little tricky. I have an idea, like to model in that lip on the inside. I'm thinking that I would draw it out flat and then revolve it, because I'm not sure how I'd add that lip after the fact. So it's just, there's things like that I have to figure out, because I still don't feel like, well, I don't know all of the different modeling tricks and tips, you know, for modeling stuff like that. So you got to really ponder that stuff sometimes. Trying to make all that so that it's adjustable. That's where I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna play with it though. I mean, the basic tube deal isn't really a big thing. It's just trying to figure out how to get the lips in there. KK's, there's a boatload of thumbs up. Right on. Thanks, my friend. Let's go. Right on. Right on. Awesome. Thank you. Ow. Yep, I like that idea. That is definitely something I'm gonna play with. Build it like a throttle body. I keep getting sidetracked in my head. Mike says, also think how to print. Seeing up the two pieces of sandwich together, then add the gate between. That's true. That is something else to think about. It is. How would I get the gate in there? It should, well, I'm gonna say it should slide in. Yeah, see, there's just a lot of things to consider. I don't think it'd be all that difficult though. Even if you had to print it in two pieces, that would make sense. So what if I only modeled half of it? And then you print two of the exact same one, you flip one 180 degrees to get the two opposite ledges in there. And then you could assemble it all as one. Maybe it screws together? Maybe there's a seam on the side, and you put a couple little bolts or screws in there. Initially, I was thinking printing it in one unit. You could print it standing up. But yeah, I don't know how you'd get, if you'd be able to get the butterfly valve in there. I would imagine you would, if you had your sizes correctly. But yeah, almost thinking design one half of it, and then just print two, flip one 180, so that your flaps would, because it would be opposite. One would be here, and that would hit up here. So if you printed two of them and you flipped it, kind of like that too. And then you just put a couple screws or glued it. Sam says, just a question. Are 600-watt active speakers too powerful to be used as computer speakers? 600-watt speakers? In my opinion? No. No. The speakers I use for my computer are studio monitors, and I think they're like 100 watts. They're 100 watts each, or are they 70? I can't remember exactly. And then like 100-watt sub for my computer speakers. So no, I don't think you can ever have too much power. I mean, but I like music and loud and stuff, so that's why I can't hear very good anymore. So my guess is no. I say crank that sucker up. Harry Dude says, with the lip, I would design the main shape, then add a shape as a whole to make the lip. Use OpenSCAD for parametric designs. Design the main shape, then add a shape as a whole. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you would cut it out. I gotcha. I think. So I think, Harry Dude, if I can explain this correctly, you're saying, trying to find some way to demonstrate this. I think what you're saying is you'd make the tube, but maybe the material in the center is a little thicker, and then you would cut that out so that the flap, so it would be a recess instead of a step down into. I think. I don't. That probably doesn't make sense. What I was initially thinking was, you have your 4-inch tube, and then you have a little lip inside that sticks down, but that would be an obstruction a little bit when it's open. You're saying maybe scoop that material out so that it closes flush, I think. And yes, that would be a cleaner way to do it. That would. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah. So you'd make a hole. Yeah, you would scoop that out. I'm thinking you would make a sphere inside and use that as the tool to cut that hole, I believe. A ball valve kind of thing. Robert says, on the valve, you could just make the bracket to hold something like a thin round plate of aluminum and use screws to attach it like the valve in a carburetor. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was initially thinking. Something like that. Mike says, it's not too difficult. No, not really. I just have to think through, again, like I said, I try to do as much modeling as I can, but I don't know every single tip and trick. So I gotta really ponder it and figure out how I'm going to do that. Harry Dude says, I often work in what I call negative space, design a solid object, and take away the bits I don't need with holes. I think I got what you mean. Mike says, screens. Yes. Harry Dude says, I was thinking this too, print in halves. Yeah, I think so. Oh, screws. Well, Mike, that makes more sense than screens. I don't know where the screens was going, but I was rolling with it. Yes, you print it in halves. I think that might be the best way to go. With flanges. Screws for maintenance. We're on a roll. Mike says, begin thinking as a manual blast gate, then go for the pivoted design, but you got this. Robert says, Harry Dude agreed. Brock says, any chance you'll sell the binding router jig, the guitar binding router jig? Possibly. I do have a little package on my website that has all of the STL files. It has the list of parts that I used and where I got them from, dimensions, all of that sort of thing. If you're interested in building your own, being able to 3D print your own parts and all that sort of stuff, I have the exact STL files that I used. They're all included in there. So, if you have a 3D printer or have access to a 3D printer, you can print all the parts, all the drill guides, everything to to be able to build your own. But I've been thinking about that, and I haven't come to an exact conclusion as to whether or not I want to do completed units. I kind of want to. Maybe I should. I've talked about it before. Maybe I'll just do a small batch sometime, just a small run of them, and see if there's any interest, and then we'll go from there. But I'll definitely be letting everybody know if that's the route that I want to go, or that I end up going, making a small batch. So if I had some available, you would be interested potentially? Brock says, sign me up for pre-order. Right on. Good. That's good to know. I've had several people ask about those. Yeah, maybe I should just do a small batch, half a dozen or even just a few, and just see what happens. So that's good to know, Brock. I heard it says, yes, you get what I mean. Okay, good. I got it. Sam says, taking YouTube into the kitchen to make a cup of tea with biscuits. Cup of coffee. Right on. Brock said, absolutely. Can't read or talk right now. Awesome. Yes, that I will take that into consideration because, like I said, I have had others interested in those as well. So I've got some material. I could probably, yeah, I'd have to order some more bits and stuff, but I might do that because I think that'd be kind of a fun experiment, just to see how it goes. Robert says, a ball valve would be great, but getting the outside of the ball smooth enough to rotate correctly might be difficult. That way there could be small tabs on either side set in ball bearings. Ooh, now we're getting technical there. Oh, the other thing with a rotating assembly, I'd have to figure out, unless it's just friction fit tight enough, a way that it doesn't just want to close somehow. It might not. If the fit is good, it might just stay. But if anything, you could do a spring of some sort, like so that the spring over travels and holds it closed, and then I think that's the least of my worries. I got to get it modeled first. But yeah, I like it. I like where you're going with that, Robert. A little bearing in there so that it is nice and smooth. That's probably for version 2 or version 50. Version 1 is just going to be experimental. I like it. Oh, Harry Dude says magnet on the lever arm. Oh, even better. Oh, man. Okay, I'm just going to ramble for a second on that idea. I like that. So whatever you have on the handle, right? Maybe there's a magnet in the handle. And then, so you have a magnet in 2 positions. You have a magnet in the open position and a magnet in the closed position, so that when you twist it, it lines up and it magnets in the open. and then you turn it and it magnets in the closed. That might work. I've got some. Well, I don't have. Well, I've got some bigger magnets like this. They're 3/4 of an inch size or something. They're really stout. Something like that might work. So you'd have 3. You'd have 1 in the handle, and then 2 over here. Mike says, can you add the link to your store for the binding jig? It is on the website. If you go to the website, homebuiltworkshop.com, and you click on the store link, there's a category for 3D printed stuff. I don't remember the exact wording. You can find it in there. 3D printed parts or 3D printed something. I should know that. That's bad. I was just on that page like 2 days ago. But it's there. The link is there. I don't have, yeah, but you should be able to find it. If you can't, let me know. Harry Dude says make the butterfly axle vertical so it's not affected by gravity. So true, and then still have a magnet or something. Yeah, maybe it's a magnet inside. What if it's inside? Maybe the magnet's on the, I was gonna say on the butterfly valve, and it hits a magnet inside the lip, but I don't want it to come out, and then it's gonna end up in the dust collector getting stuck to something if it ever were to come out. Mike says, geez, autocorrect. Dang, autocorrect, I'm telling you. See, Sam, you're not the only one that has trouble. It's all good. Robert says, well, that would probably work well with the magnets. Just need to make sure the magnet is strong enough. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't know if it would need to be super strong. Like these ones that I have, those little 3/4 inch deals, those suckers, man, they'll snap together on your finger, and it hurts. They might be a little overkill, but it sure would hold. You know, maybe I could probably use a smaller one just so it, you know, it just kind of clicks together. I think we're onto something. Sam says magnets, very attracting. They're drawn to each other. They are. And it always seems like you got a little bit of skin in the way when they snap. And that doesn't feel well. Harry Dude says fully enclose the magnets in the 2 halves so it cannot be sucked down the line. There's lots of ways you could do it. It's just going to come down to which way can I design it. I don't know. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to experiment. Because that would be fun, and it would solve a problem that I'm having. Robert says, here comes a patent for a new gate valve. I mean, if it would, if you could pull it off and it worked well, maybe, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I heard that process is kind of tricky. Yep, I'm going to play around with it. Even maybe when we're done. Well, no, I got to finish this picture frame first so I can finish the video. But I only have about maybe a half hour of tinkering on it to do. Get that done, finish filming that. And then I'm going to play around with that idea for a little bit anyway. And yeah, it would be cool because it would solve a couple issues that I'm having with my dust collection. The first one is I've been thinking lately that my dust collector is not powerful enough to do a really good job, and that may be true. But then after like a month ago, when I pulled those blast gates apart and I saw like where it had all these leaks in there, I thought, well, maybe that's not the case. Maybe it really is because it's leaking, some of the suction. So this could this if we can come up with this, it could help that, and maybe I don't need a bigger dust collector, because that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, man, it just doesn't seem like it has a lot of power. Doesn't it seem I've been feeling like it should collect more stuff, but having that leak in there, I know I'm losing some suction. So I'm gonna have to try this. I really am. Donna says, have a good weekend. Donna, you have a good weekend too. Right on. Thanks for hanging out with us. Mike says, take care. I'll wait for the video. Well, I'm gonna start messing around with it. Sam says you could make a life-size wooden horse. That would be fun. Like a life-size Trojan horse. That would be cool. Out of pallet wood. Paul says, what dust collector are you using? I'm using a Dust Right from Rockler. One of those wall mount deals. It's about, I don't know, 5 years old, maybe 6. It's less than 1,000 CFM, but it met the requirements that the manufacturer suggested for my drum sander. But it's not super powerful. I've seen that they've come out with one that's twice as many CFMs, and I've been thinking about getting that one. The only reason I like this one because it's wall mount and it just has, the bag hanging down. I'm sure, if you work for Rockler, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's not underpowered. I don't know. But that's the one I have. It's the Dust Right, not sponsored, wall mount deal. Heritage says, try 3D printing new, properly blanked off. Oh, inserts for the existing gates to test the theory. I have to see if I can take those apart or how they come apart. I'm not sure. I haven't inspected them that far yet, but I might have to. Paul says, a Dust Right only does 650 CFM. Now, the Wen is a good replacement, as is the Harbor Freight. The Wen has a larger impeller and works better. And is it a wall mount type deal? I cannot do a floor standing. That's the problem. I don't have space to put one. I barely have space to have this one hanging on the wall. But in fact, when I have to use my joiner, I got to like move the joiner out of the way because the bag is right in the way of the joiner. I'll have to look at that. But they have a new Dust Right that's like 12 or 1300 CFM. Robert says, if engineered right, the ball valve should give a smoother airflow so it would have less area to have dust to hang up on. Yeah. Paul says Dust Right has half horse. New one has 3/4 or 1. Yeah, that's why I was thinking. Okay. So, Paul, you're saying that the other ones are wall mount. I'll have to look into them and see. When I got my Dust Right, I wasn't aware of any other any of the other brands at that time. And that was the only one I was familiar with. And I'm like, oh, that is a perfect solution. So that's the one I got. I actually drove up to Denver to visit the Rockler up there so I could have it that day and not have to order it. So, but I'll look at some of the other ones. Sam says, problem with dust extractors, they really suck. Mine not so great. Paul says you can use the existing Dust Right mount to hang it on the wall. Just remove the plate from it, add it to the Wen. Oh, that's cool. Robert says, are there any filters in your collector that may need to be replaced? You can get a filter. They make it's an additional option. This canister filter that goes on, and then your bag goes onto that. I do not have that filter. I would like to, but I didn't have enough room to add that. I don't know how big it is, 12 inches or something like that. I didn't have the additional space to have the bag hanging low. But I would like to run the filter. Paul says, I had a dust rate, changed to Harbor Freight, then added the bigger impeller from Wen. Get about 1800. 1800 would be great. I'm gonna have to look at that, the Wen one, and see. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Wen, as far as being affordably priced, but decent quality. Sam says, I got the DeWalt battery-operated dust collector. Is that like the leaf blower? I didn't know if they had one. A dust collector, battery operated? That'd be cool. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna check out that Wen when we're done. Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, I think it's about time. We're past the hour mark. Before we sign off, make sure you hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Paul says Wen has the same specs as Rikon and is cheaper. That's good to know, because I don't have a problem with Rikon. It's my little bandsaws are Rikon, and yeah, I'm gonna look into that while I'm looking into redesigning some blast gates. That's just a cool name, a blast gate. Sounds like some sort of demolitions term or something. A blast gate. Paul says, LOL, have a great week. Right on. Well, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I got a picture frame to finish putting together, which won't take long. And then I got blast gates to design and other work to do. Clean up in the shop. It never ends. And that's good, because we never get bored. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everyone. I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to hang out and brainstorm things here with me. Blast gates and other stuff. So you guys have an awesome week. I hope you get some time to get out in your shops and work on some projects and build some things and all that sort of stuff. So again, have an awesome week. Picture frame video this weekend, a little bit different. I'm going to be interested to see what you guys think. I'm going to want to hear your feedback on this little bit different style, slightly. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, we'll probably be on the phone again next week because of the dang iPad deal. But anyway, Robert says, everyone stay safe and healthy. Have a good week. Sam says, be safe, everyone. Brock says, can't wait to order that router jig. Right on. You're inspiring to actually do it. So I appreciate that sort of feedback. I really do. So right on, guys. Have a good week. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay, let's try this. Later, everyone.